Amazon isn't just a company anymore. It's become the fundamental infrastructure of our daily lives. It's the invisible hand moving over 1.5 million packages every single day, and the digital backbone for the world's biggest governments and corporations. We all see those brown boxes on our doorsteps, but we rarely see the massive machine behind them, a system designed not for quick profits, but for total, complete market domination. Amazon's power is now so absolute, it's become an unavoidable force in the global economy. How did this happen? How did one company build such an unbreakable empire? It all started back in 1994, in a garage in Bellevue, Washington. Jeff Bezos, a former Wall Street executive, noticed something he called a statistical anomaly. The internet was growing at a staggering 2,300% per year. While most people saw a new way to communicate, Bezos saw the ultimate delivery system for commerce. He started with books. Why books? Because they were in universal demand and easy to ship. But the name he chose, Amazon, after the world's largest river, was a clear signal. His ambition was never just about literature. From the very beginning, Bezos introduced a philosophy that would scare the pants off traditional investors day one. This is the core belief that a company must always operate with the urgency and experimental spirit of a brand new startup, or it will face a slow, painful death. At the heart of this philosophy was a radical commitment to the long term. In his first letter to shareholders back in 1997, Bezos made it plain and simple. It's all about the long term. He was willing to lose billions of dollars for decades just to capture market share. This wasn't reckless. It was a calculated strategy to outlast and outscale every competitor who was chained to their quarterly earnings reports. Bezos focused on creating what he called the flywheel effect. It's a beautiful, self-perpetuating cycle. By lowering prices, Amazon attracted more customers. More customers brought in more third-party sellers. More sellers led to a bigger selection, which improved the customer experience, which in turn brought in even more customers. This cycle was fueled by a relentless obsession with what he called customer friction. The idea is that every extra click, every second of waiting time is a barrier to a sale. By removing that friction, Amazon turned a simple impulse into a habit, and that habit built an empire. The Amazon machine, as we know it today, is built on 3 massive pillars that create a walled garden so big, no rival can even see over the top. First, the logistics fortress. Let's be clear, Amazon is a logistics company that just happens to have a website. To achieve those lightning-fast Prime delivery speeds, Amazon built a physical network that rivals the U.S. Postal Service. They own thousands of truck trailers, a whole fleet of Prime air cargo planes, and millions upon millions of square feet in fulfillment centers. By owning the last mile of delivery, Amazon cut its dependence on services like UPS and FedEx. They turned what was once a huge cost into a powerful competitive weapon. Second, Amazon Prime, the ultimate lock-in. When it launched in 2005, many people thought Prime was a crazy, risky experiment. Charge a flat annual fee for free shipping. It sounded nuts. But what it did was fundamentally change consumer psychology. Once you pay for Prime, you have the subconscious urge to get your money's worth. This leads to a huge difference in spending habits. The average Prime member spends nearly double what a non-member spends each year. Prime isn't just a subscription, it's a loyalty trap. It makes it feel almost irrational to shop anywhere else. And third, AWS, the secret engine. While the world was watching the retail side of the business, Amazon's real power and most of its profit was coming from somewhere else entirely, Amazon Web Services, or OS. In the early 2000s, Amazon had to build a massive internal computing infrastructure just to handle its own operations. Then, they had a brilliant idea. Why not rent out that extra capacity to other companies? Today, Oz powers huge names like Netflix, Airbnb, and even the CIA. AWS provides the high-margin cash flow that allows the retail side of the business to stay incredibly aggressive on pricing. It's the silent capital that funds the price wars we see on the website. The financial logic behind Amazon is a masterclass in what you could call predatory scale. For years, Amazon reported almost zero net income. This led many financial analysts to believe the company was failing. But in reality, Amazon was reinvesting every single penny of gross profit back into its own infrastructure. They were building warehouses, buying planes, and developing new technology. By operating on razor-thin margins, Amazon made it impossible for smaller retailers to compete. A traditional store might need a 30 or 40% margin to survive. Amazon can get by on just 1% because it makes up for the low margin with unbelievable volume. This is the scale over margins model. Amazon doesn't need to make $10 on one person. It makes 10 cents on 100 million people. On top of that, Amazon turned its third-party marketplace into a massive revenue stream. Today, over 60% of all sales on Amazon come from independent sellers. And Amazon charges these sellers for everything: fees to use the platform, fees for storage in their warehouses, and fees for shipping. In effect, Amazon has created a kind of private tax on the world's small businesses. They provide the marketplace, but they also own all the data. So if a third-party seller discovers a super profitable niche product, Amazon's data tells them immediately. This allows Amazon to launch its own Amazon Basics version of that same product, often at a lower price. So, why do rivals keep losing to Amazon? It's because they're fighting a retailer, while Amazon is playing a completely different game, the game of infrastructure. To compete with Amazon today, a company like Walmart or Target can't just build a better website. They would have to replicate 30 years and over $100 billion worth of investment in fulfillment centers, data centers, and delivery networks. This is Amazon's infrastructure moat. Amazon has reached a point where it is actually more efficient for a competitor to just use Amazon's services than to try and build their own. When a small business wants to sell a product, they use Amazon's platform. When a tech startup builds a new app, they use Amazon's servers. When a brand wants fast shipping, they use Amazon's logistics. Amazon has shifted from being just a participant in the economy to being the utility through which the economy flows. This creates a state of platform monopoly, where Amazon is the single, dominant buyer of the consumer's attention. If you're not on Amazon, you basically don't exist to the modern shopper. This gives Amazon the power to dictate terms to its suppliers, to publishers, and even to governments. Their moat isn't built of water, it's built of concrete, code, and billions of data points. The end result of this 30-year campaign is an empire that seems truly unbreakable. Amazon has successfully expanded into groceries with Whole Foods, healthcare with One Medical, and home security with Ring. Every new acquisition is just another spoke in that giant flywheel. Every piece of data they collect about what you eat, how you live, and what you buy just makes the machine more powerful and efficient. The Amazon effect has not only decimated traditional retail, but it has also created a whole new standard for human expectation. We now expect everything, from a toothbrush to a new television, to arrive at our door within 24 hours. By setting that standard, Amazon has made the barrier to entry for any new competitor almost impossibly high. They have effectively commoditized time itself. The ultimate lesson from Amazon is simple. In the modern economy, control is far more valuable than immediate profit. By building the infrastructure that everyone else is forced to rely on, Amazon has ensured that it wins, no matter which individual products or companies succeed. They don't just own the store, they own the street, the sidewalk, and the map that leads you there. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the companies that shape our world. See you next time.